He had this accident about 2 years ago. He fell and he broke his femur. He was 79 years old. He fell while he was running. He chipped off like a chunk like that.
Wow.
I have a little bit of a dip into depression where I would start feeling horrible.
Welcome to Move the Needle podcast, where leaders, entrepreneurs, and change makers reveal what it takes for them to sustain a life where it allows them to pursue something great, such as entrepreneurship, parenting, etc. Now, today's guest, we have someone many Malaysians will recognize for her presence across media, broadcasting, and live events. Aishah, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, CJ. What a lovely introduction. I feel so special.
All right, I'm going to hit you with a very tough question right here.
Okay.
Okay, what is your very own definition about filling your own cup?
Oh, wow. It's about paying yourself first. That's what I think of immediately. It's about, we try and live our lives in service to others, our family, our work, our employers, or whatever. But filling your cup first is making sure that you are fulfilled and that you have everything you need with regards to your emotional, mental, physical health, or anything that you need in your life. It's just putting yourself as number one. Easier said than done, though.
So, what have you been struggling the most when it comes to filling your own cup?
Ooh, okay. So for me, I struggle with discipline and consistency.
Discipline? You don't look like
So I
that.
don't know. So that's the thing. So I struggle the most with when it comes to my physical fitness journey, right? I will push myself, and my husband calls me a jock. So like I'm a type of person. So if I get into anything, I love to get into it. Like really, like yeah, I live, I eat, I breathe this. But then I find myself fizzling out quite easily, and so that's where the lack of discipline and consistency comes in. So I will go through the initial phase of excitement, of gung ho, like, woo, just started a workout regime, I'm training for, I just ran a marathon, I just whatever. And it's just coming back after that high and maintaining it. So I always like fall off the bus and,
Wow, marathon.
disappear.
42K?
Yeah, I've done
Full marathon?
6. I've done 6.
So, does that mean that you had a few months of preparation as well?
Yes, at least minimum 6 months of preparation, and then I'll run the marathon. And then this is in the prep, you'd run like up to 30 kilometers several times, like once a week for several weeks. So you get your base really, really good. You're training, and then you're running. You've got your drills and stuff like that, fartleks and all that. And then after I run the marathon, I'd be like, yeah, Aishah, you did great. So I celebrate. It's a bit too hard in my mind. And I have 3 months of inactivity, I completely reset. So that is something that I've noticed I do a lot when it comes to my physical health and wellness. So I'm just making sure, because I'm in a phase right now where I am working out consistently. So I'm just going to make sure that I maintain that. So it's something that's on my mind.
Yeah. So, I'm sure during that 3 month period where you are taking a break once again, have you tried to get yourself back into it? And if you have, like, what was the self-talk that you had for yourself?
Okay, so the old Aisha, probably how I self-talk and get myself back into it as I will sign up for another
Another one.
marathon or another, it could be like a fitness competition or whatever, a goal to work towards. Or I'll sign up and try and get a PT or something like that. So usually, because I could be in that 3 months of inactivity, but there's this voice in the back of my head who knows she shouldn't be there. I know I shouldn't be, that I should be at least, having some sort of like a movement or exercise and all that. So usually what I tell myself is, dude, I'm like worse than my own mom in my head, in that constant nagging. And I think I get to a point where I just can't deny the fact that this is something that's very, very important. So I usually would just get started again.
Right.
But yeah, I'm working on that this time around.
So, would it be right to say that you sign up for another competition, you finally get yourself into the fitness regime? It's part of the act of filling your own cup?
It is. It really is. So I think that, you see, once we start moving or working out or choosing whatever that you love. For some people it's running, some people it's yoga or going to the gym or a sport, right? You actually realize how good you feel. So what usually is my point where I'm like, dude, I gotta do something is I will actually have a little bit of an emotional dip. So I realized that when I am not breaking a sweat, when I'm not working out and all that, I actually will have, and then obviously I eat the same. So I usually will put on a bit of weight. But when you're going upstairs and then you're sort of like trying to catch your breath and stuff like that. So you're not fit. So whenever I go through that, right, I have a little bit of a dip into depression where I would start feeling horrible. So that's when usually that's like a sign for me that I need to get up and do something. So, yes, doing something, working out is filling your cup because, whenever you work out, honestly, it's not some marketing ploy or anything like that, but you really are filled with endorphins and you really do feel good, so.
Have you ever realized that was the case? I mean, let's just go back to your childhood. Has it always been that way?
Mm, I guess. So, childhood for me, I was your typical kid. I joined sports in school because my friends did it. So, it I always joked that, because I remember not being good at sports in school. I joined netball, wasn't great at it. I did athletics, was on the reserve team, didn't even make it to the track. So I did everything just enough, never to push myself too much. And then I just thought that, yeah, you know what, I'm just not athletic. Then I became an adult, especially in my 30s. I started working out, I started playing sports, and I realized, dude, this is fun. So I kind of was sad for that because I did struggle a little bit with self-image growing up. I think, I don't know, CJ, do guys go through this too when you're younger, where
Yeah.
you look in the mirror and then you're not happy with what you see?
100%.
Guys go there. Is it like through your teen years? Do you have
100%.
that stage
Yeah.
too?
Yeah.
Because I always thought that it happens more to women, but it's sad to know that guys go through it too, right?
Yeah.
So, and I did, and I remember being about 15 or 16, I wasn't overweight, but I wasn't skinny like the girls I saw on television. And obviously, the people you see on television, they're all superstars, actors, actresses with their own personal trainers and fitness regimes and all that. Or maybe some of them were unhealthily skinny. It was the 90s where it was about being that thin. Beauty standards changed throughout the years, right? And in the 90s, it was all about the waif-like figure. So we all wanted to be that slim, that skinny. And obviously, if you're not naturally born that way, to get there is very unhealthy. Thank goodness I love my dad for this. He's very, very supportive. Now, he has been actually one of the biggest motivators when it comes to health and fitness. So he's been running, he's 80 now, so maybe about 50, 60 years. He's been a
Wow.
runner. And I always have memories of going to support him for his races. He took part in the Riyadh Marathon, in the London Marathon when we were young, and we would actually go and support him. There are pictures of us like at the side of cheering him on. And even when I was a teenager, he spent a lot of time. And I remember a conversation he had with me, and he was saying that, look, Aishah, that every body, physical body, is a different body, and they're all beautiful. Just because you don't look like this person or this actor, it doesn't mean you're any less. So it was a very normal conversation for girls to have dude, I was about to say during those days. It still happens now because my daughter is 16, exactly the same age as I was at that time, and she too is having that conversation. So it's like I feel it's very important for parents and adults and everybody and people who work in media to try and build a more positive and healthier image of what healthy looks like. You know
Yes,
what I'm saying?
100%.
Right?
Well, at least I believe the generation now, they are getting into the gym at such young age, right?
my 16-year-old goes to the gym with me.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
right.
'cause-
That's amazing.
So my kids are athletes, and it's because of when I was in school. Remember, I told you that I felt I wasn't athletic. But when I was an adult, I realized that this came naturally to me. And I felt like, Allah sayangnya, that's such a waste that I didn't have this opportunity to develop a sport or to find an interest at a younger age. So because of that, I have introduced my kids to now they're into athletics. Both of them used to do gymnastics, but now they do athletics. The younger one does touch rugby. So they're into track and field. So I feel it's important to introduce them to a sport
Yeah.
for not so that they would look a certain way aesthetically, but they know what their body is capable of doing. And I feel when your body is healthy and fit, your mind is at ease, your mind is calmer. So, healthy body, healthy mind.
100%. Tony Robbins once said, motion creates emotion.
Oh.
Right. So if you are sitting down at your desk all day, studying, working, naturally your biochemistry will kind of signal that, hey, look, you are
Right.
depressed, you
Yes,
are
and you'll
sad.
stagnate, correct. And there's no growth. And
Yeah.
that was that little emotional dip, right? I was talking about whenever I didn't do anything, I felt bad. And that's exactly it.
Yes. And I think that's really the quickest way to fill your own cup
Yeah.
without having to spend hours. Within just 40 minutes, 30 minutes, just a few sets of squats. And then even though it's painful at times, right? But you know, you're doing this ultimately to progress yourself or to at least give yourself that space,
Yeah.
that me time to work on yourself.
Whenever I fall off the bus and I want to get back into it, what I do is I do one movement a day. So that's if I'm like really at zero in activity. So if anybody watching who's like, okay, how do I start? I do 5 burpees before I shower in the morning. I do 30 seconds of jump rope just so that I have a little bit of activity in the day. So then when it compounds, eventually, right? So you're not going to just be happy with 5 burpees. You're going to want to do more.
Yes.
And then that's when next you know you're signing up for a class after a week of just doing that. So that's how I slowly get started again. I'm of that generation so I am 46 this year. So I'm of that generation of women who we've decided and we've seen what our mothers and the women before us went through. And then we're at the stage in our lives where we have an alternative and we have an option and a choice to actually start doing things differently. And so every phase in my life, in my 20s, I worked out to look good. In my 30s, I worked out so that I could, pick up my kids whilst holding groceries. In my 40s, I am doing weights and I'm lifting for longevity because I've seen how both my parents are aging differently. So my father's been running for a very, very long time, and he is 81 this year. He's still running, and he had this accident about 2 years ago. He fell, and he broke his femur. He was 79 years old. He fell while he was running. As his femur, he chipped off like a chunk like that.
Wow.
Whilst he was out running. We took him to rush into the hospital. He ended up having an operation. He's got metal here, metal slab, plate, and nails. He went through rehabilitation. He went through physio. A year later, he was running again. So,
It was fast.
And a fall can be traumatic for our parents.
Yes.
But for him and how he bounced back because he had a solid base, a solid foundation. And my mother, on the other hand, her heart is young, her soul is young, she's on fire, but she has osteoarthritis and it's affected her knees. And even though her heart is running, her body can only take small steps. And it doesn't hurt her just physically, it hurts her spirit. It hurts her that she's like, oh man, and she's got a husband who's super active, and she's like, oh, I wish I could, but my knee is holding me back. And so I see her and other generation, my friends and their mothers and all that, and that generation they didn't know any better, CJ. They never went to the gym in their 30s and their 40s. They thought lifting weights was something that men did. If you lifted weights, you become big and bulky. That's still a misconception that people have, right? So that was that generation. And I think the people of mine, the women who are in their 40s now, are looking at that going, I will take a lot of great things from my mother, but one thing I will take is that the importance of caring for yourself so that when you're in your golden years, that's the last thing you want, right? To not be able to live the life that you want,
Yes.
right?
And I think beyond that, what's going through her mind right now is like, okay, I'm slowing down. I can't go as fast. The next thing is, am I still valuable to the people around me?
Right. And then she's gonna think that, am I burdening my children? And I don't want my mom to think that.
Yeah.
And I don't and as a mom, and I don't want to burden my kids too. So I understand her pain and her frustration. So, that's a learning, and that's one thing that I have learned now by watching my parents. And I hope to, just like you, I want to pass that down to my children too. The love for themselves first, the love for their body and their body's ability to do such amazing things, because that's the human body. It can do such fantastic things. And there's just so much to see and to explore, and you'd want to do that. Like, I love hiking and going on trekking trips, and I want to be able to do that well into my 80s.
With your children.
With my children, right?
Yes.
So it starts now. But you can start later on in life too.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you have you didn't start by 30, then cannot. I follow this account, this lady, her name is, it's called Lift with Joan, Joan. She started lifting weights in her 70s. Wow. She just celebrated her 80th birthday. And that means, at 70, 10 years ago, she did a reflection post where she was like, she was like a typical 70-year-old. They really didn't care. But I don't know what shifted for her. Then she started working out, going to the gym. The woman is lifting weights like insane. But she started in her golden years, and it's still so possible. And, I just feel like, people would talk about that a little bit more. How just because you're older, it doesn't mean that you can't do weights.
Yeah.
Just because you've already got you've already got some illness or whatever that you can't kickstart your fitness journey. That you can at every level. You go see a doctor, make sure that you're okay, then go start somewhere. Better than nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely. So out of weights, cardio, running, trekking, marathon, which one do you prefer?
Now weights.
Why?
Because I think all those years of running has kind of messed up my knee. And if I do anything slightly more intense, I love trail running, like running downhill on a track and you're jumping over.
Okay.
I love that. But the last time I did it, my knee was swollen for like a week.
Wow.
And I couldn't like full on bend. So I used to love cardio like crazy, but now I super love weights. And I go into the gym and I'll do resistance training 2 to 3 times a week. And I'm working on like increasing my max weight, like my five lifts of a max weight for my barbell back squat or bench press or whatever. So I have my little routine, which I learned from you guys. And I'm applying that, and it's simple. So yeah, I love being the only girl, sometimes one of 2 girls or maybe one of 3 girls in the free weight area of a gym where they're mostly guys. I like being the odd one out, and I feel that more women need to be there.
Yeah.
So it's like, because I was that girl who was very intimidated by free weights.
Okay.
I'd go to the gym and I'd be doing the machines, not knowing how I'm doing it, if I'm doing it right. Yeah. And then learning with you guys, and then with Jimin, and learning and building that confidence. Now I can walk into the gym and I can pick out my weights, and then I can decide to do what I want to do, and in an hour I'm done.
Great.
So I love it. And I don't sweat so much, and I can still run errands after that without stinking. So and you know what, muscles live off sugars, and then that can have like a different effect. So sugars in the brain is Alzheimer's, dementia, and then sugars in your joint can cause inflammation and arthritis. So and muscles love that.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
That's why I've really changed my mind towards strength training. I think cardio is still important. Once in a while, I would add it in, but because of my knee, it's always short bursts and not as endurance as last time. I once in a while will go run with my dad to keep him company and things like that. But strength training is everything, especially bone density. Dude, I just learned that.
Right?
Huh.
Okay. What did you come across an article or a conversation with a friend?
So, okay, because I'm in my mid 40s, later 40s, so women go through perimenopause. So, perimenopause is the 10 years leading up to menopause. Menopause is only a year where your body will stop producing eggs and estrogen and your period will stop. But that 10 years that builds up to it is a different transitional stage for women, and there's not much research done on it. There's not many papers, but because, like I was talking about, this generation of women that we're in right now, we're finally realizing that, hey, I'm going through this. What is it? Why am I gaining weight? Why am I, getting injuries? Why am I getting a frozen shoulder? Where are these changes happening in my body? And so you saw a lot of I started doing a lot of research, reading about it. And that's when it actually came across, because one thing that happens in menopause for women is bone density is affected. And there was actually this study done in Australia. It's called, I think, the Move Well project, where they took two groups of women, all with so bone density is osteoporosis. So they all had some sort of level of osteoporosis, and they took one group, and you just business as usual, do whatever you do. The other one was on a strength training program, and then they measured after a few months the bone density, and they saw an increase in the women who already had osteoporosis. They saw an increase in their bone density. So it can increase it. But it slows down for women after a while, but it really encourages it some more with that. So I'm doing weight training for bone density. I'm added jumping, like just, 8-inch jumping into my little routine with a little bit of an impact to help also, joints and density and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm in that phase. I'm working out now so that I can live this second phase of my life and really just come into my own and do things for me. And now I'm in my 40s. It's like, Aisha, put yourself first, girl. So that's really changed for me.
Right. Was there any point in your life where looking after yourself means you start feeling guilty because you are being selfish in the eyes of sometimes in-laws, sometimes husband even, for some people. So how was it for you?
So in the beginning, yes, when my kids were younger, when I booked my first or second marathon, and I can't just run a marathon here in Malaysia. I've got to make a trip out of it. So it was a runcation. So I went to Amsterdam. That was my first marathon. And then I went to New Zealand, and I ran a few marathons in Japan and in Bali. So everywhere, every marathon was somewhere. And so obviously when you travel, there's a lot more time. So I had to have conversations with my husband, because I did feel guilty myself, especially when my kids were young, especially when it comes to training for the marathon. The trip itself is like 5 to 10 days, depending, a weekend. But training is 6 months, and every week you are adding to your distance. That means you're out longer. So I had to explain to my husband, who was often left back with the kids, that this was something that was very important that I needed to do for me. So I didn't really care about what everybody else thought on the outside, but I just wanted to make sure that my husband was on board with this. And since then, he has been amazing. I remember he went along for my first marathon, and he's followed for 2 marathons, and he would have me on the tracker, and he would try and meet me halfway. And he even ran the last 3 kilometers of my first ever marathon, and he was running with me, and I was in tears because it was emotional, and I'm like, I hate this, why am I even here? And then he was running next to me, giving me motivation. So I did go through that, but that's why it's so important to have an understanding support system, and to have open conversations with your partner as to why this was important. And for me, it was just finding myself. Because when you become a mom, and especially when they're young, you lose a bit of you. You become enmeshed a bit with your kids. Like, where does Aisha end and the children begin? So I needed so much to find me. And once I did and discovered what I liked, there was no turning back. So my oldest is 16 now, and I've been on multiple trips, climbing mountains. I'm going on another trek in October where I'm gone for 12 days. I'm trekking Nepal again. So
Is he coming along?
no, it's just girls, sorry.
Okay. That's amazing. And then, I think one message I want to get out there to all the husbands out there and all the guys thinking about getting married is, you must allow your partner, your wife, your girlfriend even, to pursue whatever that's good for them, because you can't just make them stay home and guilt trip them and say, I don't know how to take care of babies, I don't know how to change nappies, you can't be away for too long. I heard that story so many times, and I just felt like that was just a convenient excuses people have.
Yeah,
You can learn
absolutely.
about changing nappies.
Because how do you think we learned? We learned through trial and error too. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not like mothers knew naturally to do things.
Yeah.
It's just that the baby was crying, the nappy's full. I think I have to change it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, and I think it works both ways too, where women also need to allow that space for their other half to actually discover their own
Yeah.
fitness journey, their own self-love. Because, and I see this in my husband, women, we have that guilt when it comes to, if I do this for me. For guys, often they put that aside. Their self-care is when, it's like, I'm sacrificing this for my family. I'm going out looking for, bringing in the bread. I'm working, so therefore I've got no time to take care of myself. So it goes both ways. Your children need you.
yeah.
And they only have one dad. I remember you guys, I think, did a post on this, and it was just a reminder. It was on one of your Move accounts in your social media, that your kids only have one dad.
Yeah.
So, they deserve it that you take care of yourself too.
Yeah.
It goes for mums, it goes for dads. And even if you're not a parent, we need to put ourselves in a position where we are, not in a narcissistic way, but we are our number one. So we, in order for us to care for our parents, our siblings, our family, our employees, our employer, so we really need to put ourselves up there and really just give ourselves and our body an opportunity and a chance to really just be the best form of yourself.
Now you are working as, the voice that many Malaysians hear.
Yeah.
And how has it been? You have busy schedule, you're traveling,
Okay.
and just walk us through a little bit what your day looks like, and what is the part in your day where you feel like fitness has truly helped you?
Okay, so I am usually up around 4:30 in the morning,
Why?
Monday to Friday. Why? Because I am on air at 6 a.m. and if I'm late, Malaysia knows.
Okay.
So yes, you're right. I do work on radio and my time slot is in the morning, Monday to Friday, 6 to 10 a.m. So I'm up at 4:30 and usually the mornings, gosh, I wish so much because I hear about the 4 a.m. club and stuff like that and I wish I could do that. But my mornings are a little bit hectic and chaotic. It's usually just get ready, go to work. So I get to work. We're done around 11:30, 12 o'clock, and then I go get the kids. And how I weave in my fitness is now and I realize a lot of working parents do this, is we steal time. So if I can steal an hour to just go and work out, go to the gym, a day that's like, and I will take it like an hour. So there is no consistency with regards to time. Like I'm always working out at 12 o'clock on a Saturday. It's not like that. But I still find little pockets of time, which I've got to make sure I be aware of that and I plan around it. And when I feel like so on days that I work out as compared to days I go through when I haven't been working out in the past, like 2-3 days of no workout, I actually find myself, I may be physically sore or tired because you've done weight, so you kind of feel the fatigue in your muscles, but I feel elated. And my energy level, I feel, is a lot more sustained on compared to days where I'm not working out, and I feel sluggish. I can't explain the sciences behind that, but on days that I'm not working out, I really do feel at the end of the day, I'm just like, I'm done, and I have to like take a nap. If not, it's very hard for me to last.
All right. It goes same for me as well.
Yeah?
I know when I haven't been disciplined,
Right? You
and
just
it's a
feel it.
reminder for you, right? To be like, hey, get your ass back into the weight room for
Absolutely.
the gym.
It is. And that's the thing. That's the thing with consistency and discipline, right? So when you skip your gym workouts, yeah, after a few days, then your muscles won't be as strong and all that. But it's like, it's not just your strength, but it's like getting back into it, getting back to there. Like the hardest part of going for a run to me is like putting on my shoes. It's that first step.
Yeah.
Once you're out there, you're like, I gotta go and make this work.
Yeah.
And you go run and you're like, I have to run back anyway. So next you know, a couple of kilometers are down. So the hardest part is always getting out there. And when you miss a session or two, right, getting back into it is so much harder. That's the thing with discipline.
So what is your biggest why behind getting you back into that routine? Do you have any?
I'm trying to stop aging.
All right.
Oh gosh. Okay, so this industry that I'm in, I have this belief that, I mean, yeah, it's very much based on appearance and aesthetics and all that. But of course, content and who you are, your personality, what you bring is a lot more important now. But when I started, it was about the way you looked. So it was, you got to shut that part of the brain up, you know? But what keeps me going is, A, I want to fit into my clothes. B, I want to feel good in my clothes. And I just want to be, you know, like you mentioned, I want to trek that mountain with my kids at 70. I want to see that. As cliche as it is, you know, but right now, at this moment, I want to grow older, but be healthy, and not grow older and be ill or be sick or be in pain. And it just is happening too much and too often with our older generation, you know. So I just want to not have that happen. So I learned something when I was training for the Tokyo Marathon. And I was very lucky that at that time I was doing a lot of work with ASICS, the brand. So they sent me for the Tokyo Marathon, which was my first world major, and they gave me a coach. And this guy was a running coach, and he was also a mindfulness coach. But one of the biggest lessons I took from him was that, and this is a reminder for all of us, is that we are sometimes, like, we only have one energy source, like our engine, and it's the same energy source that is powering us when we're building our business, when we are parenting, or if you are, you know, working on a project, if you're caring for your kids, if you're working out at the gym. We're all taking from one place. So we've got to be kind to ourselves. And on days that you're feeling lack of motivation, sometimes you're just tired. So as long as it's not an ongoing excuse for you to just be like, I'm tired, and next, you know, a month has gone by. But if you're feeling tired, okay to just give yourself that break. And especially if you're like a go-getter type of cannot sit down type of person, that is your little reminder just to make sure to pace yourself so that you don't burn out.
And you have decades ahead of you to do that. Right? So that leads to our last question here for you. Now, you are 80 years old, your kids are out of home. You know, you go to hiking occasionally. And they are going after you. They're like, Mom, slow down.
Oh God, I love that, right?
But what would you say to the Aishah today? All right? Would it be more like, hey, why in a rush? Or hey, take care of yourself more? Or hey, do this more, do that less?
I would tell me, 80-year-old me, I'd tell me now that, you know, to keep on going, that in the end of the day, it is worth it. And no matter how hard, challenging, tiring it may be, it's just one step at a time, and just focus on the journey, because it's progress, not perfection. It is just one step at a time.
And if you could have one chance to speak to the Aishah in her 20s, what would you say?
Get off your ass, go to the gym.
All right. Cool. Thanks a lot. I would say that is all for today. It has been insightful, valuable, and impactful, especially the last bit. Wow. Okay. Thanks a lot for today.
Thank you.
And make sure you like and subscribe. How do we find out more about Aishah? How do we work with Aishah, collaborate with Aishah, or just want to have a chat with her if you allow? How do we do that?
Okay, so you can find me on my Instagram, Aishah Jennifer, AISHAHJENNIFER. There is an email and a contact for you to actually reach out to, and that will go to the management, my manager, my management, and yeah, they'll get you in touch with me. If not, I try and share my journey as much as possible, so it's all there.
All right. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Thank
That's
you.
all. Oh my God, that was fun.